with all this energy the way it is. Be it from Tromso? I'm not sure how to pronounce that. Where is that in the world? Rachel, hello, Rachel from Tangier,
Oh, is it in
Georgia.
Oh, I'm not
Whoop.
sure how to. There we go. We're live on YouTube now. All right.
Great.
So
Yeah.
wonderful. And yeah, thank
Wow.
you everybody for putting your
Mhm.
details in the chat. Tromso, yeah, in the north of Norway. How interesting.
Yeah. Wonderful.
Beautiful. Welcome everybody.
Yeah.
Okay, and so as you are all joining over on YouTube, hello everybody on YouTube, please put your name and location in the YouTube comments. And we were just saying here before we went live on YouTube about the solar flares and the Earth activity, and we're all feeling it. So let us know in the YouTube comments, how are you feeling? How are you navigating? What Kristen is going to share today is going to be so helpful with everything that we are moving through in these intense energies at this time. So we're really excited to share this with you today. Now, I wanted to begin today by just sharing a little bit more about our amazing online academy, the Quantum School. And this is our brand new website for the Quantum School, which we've recently released and we're super excited about. So we welcome you to come here and check out the Quantum School. The long name of it is the Global School for Quantum Evolution, and the short name is the Quantum School. So you can call it whichever one you like. And this is a school that we initially launched in January of 2024, and it has grown exponentially by quantum leaps ever since then. And so this is a branch of Sacred Planet. And this school is bringing to you amazing and incredible teachers from all around the world, like Kristen, who we're presenting to you today. Amazing teachers, and all of the courses offered on the Quantum School are fully 100% on donation basis. And this is this incredible sacred economic model that we're so excited to share and to bring to the world. And it's just incredible because what we have seen from the Sacred Planet community and from visionary communities all around the world is that those who are able to give a little more and make sure that we can keep doing what we're doing in the quantum school. And those who are not able to give as much, or maybe are in difficult financial situations right now, or maybe people who are in a country where the exchange rate to the dollar is not so easy, can give the donation that they're truly able to, so everybody can send the amount for your tuition to these classes, these amazing classes, at the amount that is exactly perfect for you at this moment in time. And this is really our vision and our dream. And like I said, it's been growing exponentially. It's just so exciting. So come here to quantum-school.com. I'll also put that link in the description field below the YouTube video, and you can check out more about our school, visionary teachers, a global community, and sacred economics with a purely donation-based model. You can always come here and see our newest presentation coming up. This is actually Kristen's, which is airing right now today. And you can also come and check out previous classes that have been hosted on the Quantum School. So there's just so much here to explore. And if you would like to receive updates about the Quantum School, just come here and fill out this form and join our quantum community. So we're excited to bring that to you today. And now, without any further ado, let me introduce Kristen. And I know many of you attending here may already know Kristen and her amazing work. And so Kristen has a passion for supporting people in knowing, loving, and trusting themselves to have clarity and strength to lead a heart and soul-led life. She is able to access information in one's multidimensional field to create transformation in the present moment and through timelines to support their embodiment of their highest expression. Kristen's journey began as a child. She sensed the world differently from others. In her teens, she began exploring yoga, nutrition through a plant based diet, and meditation. In her 20s, Kristen's intuitive gifts came alive. She started seeing energy flowing in people's bodies, identifying the cause of ailments, and discovering solutions. This led her to begin her adventure with medical intuitive work, energy signatures, energy healing, shamanism, herbalism, and alternative healing. As she studied, Kristen realized that all of this knowledge was already within her. Kristen then embarked on a journey of practicing what came through and further deepened her understanding by studying in mystery schools to explore the causal nature of our reality. And she now supports her clients and students through their awakening in one on one mentorships, one on one sessions, group programs, meditations, and activations. And so, Kristen, welcome once again. We're so excited for your presentation today on the alchemy of the awakening path. Thank you for the amazing work you're doing, and thank you for bringing this beautiful presentation to the Quantum School today.
Thank you. Thank you. I really appreciate this opportunity, and your website looks really beautiful. So that's really congratulations for getting that up and running to support this incredible new way of sharing everyone's talents and gifts and beauty in the world. So, so much gratitude for that. And for everyone here that gets to be a part of your community and this experience today, I think it's going to be absolutely lovely. So,
Yes.
yeah.
I'll let you take it away, Kristen. And by the way, it's 12:12 Eastern time, so we're starting in a magical moment. I'll let you take it away from here.
Yes, yes, yes. So thank you everyone for being here. I appreciate you. I love having this multicultural and around the world energies, which is going to help us move through this information and what we're going to be creating today through this intense energy that's coming through. Like, so just what Jocelyn had mentioned when we began about the energy. So, and some of you have been sharing in the chat about what you're feeling, and I see some of you, a couple of you had headaches, and that's a really common thing right now. And this is a part of the alchemy on the awakening path, right? And becoming a channel for divine source energy is these incredible uprisings and frequency that are going to, in a way, challenge our system, challenge our mind, challenge our emotions to be able to still function and be on our path and allow those energetics to support us. And so this is today what we're going to do is we're going to go through a few layers of our awakening. One is, some of the profound mysteries that we can really unlock within ourselves that support us from really understanding the pressures that we feel on the path, like we might now with all this energy coming through. And then we're going to learn some techniques to stay calm and centered on the path, which is also going to be really helpful for today. And so, and then we're going to be, just really connecting into recognizing how our inner heart and inner guidance is always present, and how we can really tap into that a little more clearly through these experiences today. And, Jocelyn, I didn't ask you this, but I was wondering because for the second portion of it, bringing people into that, can I lead a short meditation with the
Absolutely.
information? Okay,
Yeah,
great. So I think that
that
might
would
be
be
helpful for
wonderful.
everybody. I was like, okay, I want to talk, but I think an experiential experience would be um, more applicable in our current moment here. So.
I'm sure everybody
Yeah.
will love that and look forward to it very much.
Yeah. So perfect. Appreciate that. All right. So let's explore here a bit about the awakening journey, right? So please put in the chat. Since you're here, I'm, going to assume that you are feeling you're on your awakening path or your ascension path. And I'd love to hear from you, in chat, on Zoom or in on YouTube if you'd like to share, a one in the comments if yeah, you're in it. You're on your awakening, you're finding new things about yourself, you're in this self-discovery process. Maybe you've been in it for quite a while. Maybe it's just starting. Um, so really, our awakening is a profound experience. Thank you, everyone. Yeah, thank you, Annette and Stephen and Charlene and Katie. Yeah, all these ones coming in. Yeah, so it's interesting to talk about the pressures on the awakening path and how to free our mind, heart, and soul. through this experience, right? Because our mind and our heart and our soul are this continuously integrative, coherent energetics of these different levels of consciousness that are constantly interacting with itself and with the field around us. Like we were talking today about the solar flares, we're receiving an incredible amount of information today, right, through this solar energy. And our bodies are taking it in however it's taking it in. Our minds are taking it in however it's taking it in. Our hearts are taking it in however it's taking it in, right? And so the awakening is really that ability to be in conscious awareness of all these different things that are happening at once and make some sense out of it, right? And be able to be inspired by it and allow those energetics of ourself, of our true self, to emerge through these experiences so that we can know who we truly are, to really get in deeply and allow those pressures that we might feel from the conditionings of society and our cultural backgrounds to really surrender and let go into the opportunity to say, well, okay, fine and good with all of the things that I've learned, but who am I really underneath all of that? Right. And right now, we're going through our awakening right now is profound in the way that it's happening on such a collective mass level, right? That there's so many people, it's all happening at once. It can get confusing, it can get uncomfortable because it's like, where do we stand in this as individuals and as a collective? And that can create some pressure, right? Especially when our awakening is likened to the society that, you know, puts things in terms of goals and achieving, right? And our awakening really isn't about achieving something. Yes, maybe there are things that come up along the way, that we have visions, we have goals, like just like Jocelyn putting the school together, like it's a vision, right? She's and all of her team, putting it together and us being here through that, right? That's a part that can be part of an awakening, vision. And yet at the same time, it's also this opportunity to start to unwind those conditions so we can have a different relationship with how we're receiving ourselves through the experience. So if we want to equate it, it's like the mystics, like the awakening in the past, it was usually just mystics and people, initiates being in mystery schools where they were guided and taught and shown and maybe even seen as small children and then taken in and being able to learn all of these things about how we function on these higher levels. And right now, we're just all like in this individual crash, kind of crash course of what that really is. And so, this awakening is really remembering ourselves, remembering who we are, and above and beyond, these ideas that we've taken on through our beliefs and constructs of what this planet has been. And so to like macro out for a moment, this earth wasn't necessarily meant to be in the state that it's in right now, right? There were different things that took place, and I won't get into all those details because that could take up a whole nother hour or so of conversation or longer. But really, really the essence of who we are is what's speaking right now through what we might want to call these distortions or these ideas placed and they got locked into this planet, and we're undoing those right now. And it's not an easy path, right? It's not an easy path to always have to be aware of what's happening and who we are and the choices we want to make. And, sometimes, when people say ignorance is bliss, it's like sometimes people feel more comfortable in not knowing, because when we start to really go through our awakening, we start to really have to look at ourselves. We really have to go into what we call the shadow and really explore, explore these parts of ourself that have been racked up, maybe in the wounds and the traumas and these conditions where, maybe we felt we didn't have freedom in life. We didn't have that experience of people around us that we could trust and that really brought us to life, right? Of who we were, really tapped into that. And so now that's what's happening. We're just getting these energetics. And that's why I love being able to gather with you all here now in this experience to say, hey, yes, there are pressures that come along with it. And there are ways to, relieve a lot of those pressures that we can experience. And, I still go through them too. I still have waves of, whoa, there's, it's like there's still so much, that I'm still processing, yet I've been shown and guided over the years. To give you some background, in 2013, during a hypnotherapy session, Metatron came through and said, do you want to help, assist in forming the new earth? And it was like, oh, sure. Okay. And at the time, honestly, I didn't even know who Metatron was. I came out of that, was talking to the hypnotherapist, and she was like, oh my gosh, Metatron. Yeah, she knew. And so, and then I was just guided very intensely for many years by Melchizedek, by Metatron, by Mother Mary, by all these beings to say, hey, you've done this work up to now with your intuition and your energy work and, different things. And now it's like, okay. So it's like parts of my body were getting redone, parts of my, just reconstructing my perspectives and how to see and feel and intuit the dimensional fields. And actually I was being prepared for what's happening right now. In 2013, they started showing me what was going to happen in the future on this planet with all of us right now, so that we could have guides and guidance in this process. And so that is what I'm here for to do. And being a divine channel of source is a recognition that we already are. So our awakening is remembering that we already are this. And what we're doing is unlocking and unraveling and relearning about who we really are, to really catalyze the essence that lives within every cell of our body, that's in every part of us, in our bodies, in our energy field, and the guidance that we're receiving. And so to navigate this right now, this alchemy, that we're going through, is a really powerful process. And I was studying Carolyn Mace because I was doing death doula work in my early 20s, and which was an amazing initiation to what actually happens, in that transition from body to our next experience and all the levels and layers of that. But one of the things that stuck out that I still use today is a very simple tool that she used. She's a medical intuitive. For those of you who might not know her, she's a medical intuitive that worked alongside of a doctor, and she's just has brought out so much really amazing information over the years of how to support us in our awakening as well. And she said, for every lead thought, have a gold thought. So, you're really using those terms of alchemy in every time we have a heavy thought, or what we call a negative thought, where we find ourselves in that space. Then let's counterbalance it with a thought or a feeling, and inviting a feeling that can counterbalance it, so that we can really bring in those frequencies. Because what happens, and so when I started doing that, I really started to tune into the center channel of my body. I really started to tune into the center, like we're scales, right, on a fulcrum point. And we can go into duality, right, of, okay, I'm over here, I'm over here. I'm in the negative, I'm in the positive, I'm in the negative. And the guidance was to really be neutral, to really see how much we could maintain that centered neutral space, and really working with that center channel of the body that is our divine channel, that is our source channel, that connects us into the clarity of existence, of source, all the way down through into the center of the pure heart of Mother Earth, and through our own bodies and our own, energy centers. And so one of the things that I really like to use when I'm feeling the pressure, of my awakening, or things that are present. And I was telling Jocelyn and the team before we got on this that I was basically up all night with those solar flares, or the solar energy that we're receiving. I mean, I was not sleeping, and to me, I felt a pressure from that, because I knew I was going to be showing up here for you today, and I really wanted to feel that I could do my best. And then I always trust too. I always trust that whatever's happening is happening in the divine path of life, right? And so going, okay, I'm going to trust. And so I just started just really breathing and channeling the center channel of energy. So, how many people here like to work with the center channel of the body as well? Because I always use it in my meditations, and we're going to do it later in the meditation as well. Because what it really does is it helps us balance. It helps us balance from the energetics that are being pulled from one end of the spectrum to another, right? And it's so powerful. This is like if you want to relate it to like the Kabbalah, and the tree of life. That's our center. That's our trunk. That's our grounding rod. That's our place where all of the life exists within us and can flow perfectly up and down through all of the life force energy that we are. And then we're going to, of course, work with the toroidal field as well in our meditation. And so I was just running my energy that way. Thank you, Philip and Sky and Rebecca. Yes. And Evie and Nina. Yeah. Learning that. Okay. Yeah. Nina, great explanation. Yeah. You're welcome. So, the we're kind of working with what feels like a mystery at first, right? All of this is a mystery. And so the pressures that we're feeling can really be kind of softened and soothed if we bring all of that pressure and we really communicate with ourselves. We really communicate with ourselves when we come into the center and we say, okay, I know that maybe I'm feeling, anxiety about wanting to show up my best today when I'm not, when I know I'm not going to be fully rested, right? Oh, but then I'm also feeling such joy and excitement about what we get to share and what we get to connect through today, right? And so I was just breathing all of that in into my center and inviting neutrality and inviting that energy to bring the divine sense, the divine essence of myself into a space that could really just flow together. Because when we can embrace, duality with neutrality, then a lot of that pressure and anxiety and discomfort can start to just dissipate because we're inviting the truth. We're inviting how our energy actually really works in its power, in its true form. And so when we do that, we can practice that, then we can feel more solid. And then eventually, the more and the more that we work with that center energy, it's easier to get into it, when we're having those moments, and it can create such calm. It can create such of a collected. So we're basically what we're doing is we're collecting ourselves, all of our energy, our thoughts, our emotions. And another piece, that we can do to navigate these times when we're center is use that center channel, but invite our thoughts, invite our emotions to quiet and to come into that space, right? To keep inviting ourselves into that space. And so just like our negative thoughts are an invitation, it's an invitation. Do we want to take that invitation? So then what we can do is say, okay, I hear you. Another, one of these parts of navigating these times is really having this self communication. I was just talking about this on Monday. And when we start to really communicate with ourselves, when we start to really name to ourselves and acknowledge all the feelings and experiences that we're having in the moment, even when they're positive, like, wow, I'm feeling really joyful, I'm feeling really inspired, I'm feeling really catalyzed right now, or I'm just feeling such happiness, watching, the birds. Like I have a lot of birds outside in the trees, and I always love, just watching them just do their thing, do their natural, instinctive and playful, thing in the world, and remembering those things, and so what we get to do when we're moving with these energies, it's an invitation. We can say, okay, I hear you, maybe the challenged part, maybe the tense part, the confused part, the doubtful part. And then we invite, another energetic, well, really, what would I like to feel? I'd like to feel clarity. So I'm going to invite clarity and doubt to flow together, to bring the two halves of the whole together into the center. And that brings more wholeness to the sense, to the body. And then what you're doing is instructing the subconscious, you're instructing the mind that, oh, right. and then the body and all the intelligence in the body and the heart and the mind to start working together to support that. And but it does take, it takes that practice, but that's how we get to do it. And then all, of course, all the other tools, meditation or breath work. I was also using breath work last night, because not only was I just feeling what I was feeling about today, it was just my energy was like, like someone said here earlier, yeah, my body's buzzing. It's like same thing. My body was just like, like I was literally feeling my nerves just, vibrate in my body. And I was like, oh, okay. So I was just using, calming breath techniques. And so I'd love to hear from you, maybe some of the tools that you like to use for calming and centering and supporting yourself when you're feeling, those pressures of life or things happening that maybe you feel you don't have control over, but or the doubt that comes up. Yes, mindfulness. Yeah, thank you, Evie. Yeah, go for a walk. Absolutely. Yeah, walking can definitely help alleviate. Yeah, Reiki and Tracy. Yeah, kind of sitting on the roots of a tree. Yeah, tapping and havening. Yeah, Ina, tapping and havening is a really great practice too. Tai Chi. Yeah, wonderful. So I'm glad you all have some tools to work with. Um, so really to think about, our center channel, and that is the light cord. And so then when we start really tapping into that, not only are we welcoming the calmness and the centeredness and maybe some neutrality. And so what I'm inviting is that, maybe when you're out for a walk or you're, you know, um, sitting on the root of the tree or you're in your breath work, just also inviting that energy that you're starting to flow through that through your center channel, right? And asking it to ground into the heart of Mother Earth and come back up and through the sun and back down through. And we're going to do that practice in our meditation. So I'm just giving you a little preview. But really, what that also helps us do is shift from reaction to response to responding, right? And so on our awakening path, when we're really getting to learn about ourselves and go through this self-discovery process and unwind all of these things, one of the things that I like to say is, the awakening is like an adventure. I like to see it as an adventure and see all the things that pop up on the path as like, ooh, seeing at it from a place of curiosity, like, what does this have for me? What is this sharing with me? What choice did I make that led, to this result? And then what do I get to learn from that, right? As a really more of adventurous, neutral feedback loop rather than a, failure success. And those still pop up, but it's still, then I kind of, when they pop up, I'm like, yep, okay, come back to center. Let's like, what's in it? What's the learning in it? And so to take the pressure off of the awakening, we're going to go back to what I was sharing before about the reaction and the response, but I just wanted to share this about, to take the pressure off too, because a lot of people have this idea that we've got to do it like right now, right? That we've got to know right now, and we've got to achieve this thing right now, and the world needs me right now, or whatever it is. And like, how many people feel that too? I'd love to see, a yes or a one in the chat on Zoom and on YouTube. And that's where so much of the pressure can come from, right? Is this idea that it has to happen now. And, especially because, in the spiritual communities, we're all talking about it. And, sometimes there's a sense of urgency because of the way the planet is. But really, if we can, again, scale out to the macro, scan out to the macro is like, yes, there are these things that are happening. And yes, it would be amazing, right? If we all, were living in our, pure essence of ourself, knowing ourselves, being clear all the time, making the, aligned choices and, being able to, live our visions all the time and all of that. But really, where you are right now, like taking some pressure off, where you are right now is exactly where you need to be. This is a part of the self-discovery process. This is a part of the unraveling of the self into the bigger self, right? Letting the bigger self. So, this idea, Yeah. Yeah, Wendy, I'm going to tap on. I love what you said. Yes. Fear of being left out of the ascension before my time is up. I'll come back though if needed. Wow. Yeah, and Veronica, wow, that did offer some relief. Yeah, and so just tuning into that and saying, when we tune out to the macro and quote unquote time in the macro, there is so much opportunity. There is so much. And right where we are right now is where we need to be because we are this not really thinking of just this body, just this lifetime, right? Because when we tune into the macro, our soul is working on so many different levels, on so many lifetimes and timelines, all at the same time in these different places, plus this body right now, right? And so our mind gets so contracted into that one pointed focus, right? Of what we're here to do. Like, I've got to do this, just like we do in that, like I was saying, we're unwinding that cultural, societal way of how we look at awakening. And awakening really is an ongoing process throughout, all these time spans, right? And so, right now, if we can relax into just where we are, and this is a part of taking the pressure off, is just being present with right where we are and saying, wow, right where I am is exactly where I need to be. If it wasn't that, I'd be somewhere else. Right? I'd be somewhere else. So I'm right here. So if I'm right here in my body, let's connect right here in my body. Let's connect right here into this moment. Let's connect right here into, okay, it's not about, 10 years from now or tomorrow or the next day. It's about right here, right now and saying, how am I going to choose to be right here, right now? That's all we really have is this moment. And so taking the pressure off of all this future, idea. And so because that really will cause over and undue stress and stimulation, right? And we're not left out of anything ever. We really aren't, right? You said, I'll come back again. Well, maybe you'll come back to Earth. Maybe you'll go to another planet. Maybe you'll go to another dimension. Maybe once you leave this body, you're like, yeah, okay, look what I did complete. Look what I did. Now I get to go do this, right? So I feel like a lot of times this awakening has gotten put in a box. Just like going to college, getting a job, getting married, having kids, all of that got put in a box, right? And now, so let's unwind the box that we've decided that ascension and awakening is as well, right? To take the pressure off so that there can be more joy and connection in the present moment of what we're actually living and what we're actually creating and who we are and what's around us that we get to, you know, experience and choose and unwind, and but I will say, just from yeah going through this, um uh so knowing that if you're on your awakening path, you're waking up, you're on your self-discovery, you're right where you need to be. Take a breath with that. Just take a breath with that. Because if we limit ourselves to time, if we limit ourselves to to the idea of achieving something, then what we do is we actually place more constriction and tension in the field around what we're actually doing and who we actually are and what actually wants to come through us. That divine channel of source, the divine channel of source doesn't really play in the game of time. Do you notice that when you're in meditation and things just go quiet? And then you're like, wow, maybe I sat here for a while. Or maybe you get lost in a good book, right? Or you are viewing nature and you're like, wow, look how beautiful that is, right? And you just kind of kind of lose your sense of time or maybe these energies, because these energies right now actually are trying to help us shift out of time, of shift out of this construct of time. And then we're trying to stay with it because we've got appointments and these like things that we want to show up for, right? So it's like this balancing act right now, but it's just going, wow, it's really allowing us to tap into what is actually happening right now and what's the flow. What's my flow? What's my rhythm? And so part of self-discovery on this awakening path and that remembering process is going, what's my flow? What's my rhythm? And when we do that, then it really helps us shift from reaction to response, right? Because when we're in reaction, then it's all about this construct of time, the conditions, maybe, yes, the old subconscious patterns. But then when we shift into, okay, I'm going to recognize that those can pop up and I may want to, say something or do something or act out of those old patterns. And that's where we get to talk to them too. We get to say, hey, yes, I know you might want to pop up and share your story, share your piece. And what I'd really like to do is this. So inviting those parts of yourself along with you to say, ha, because it is a part of you, it is your energy. It's all your energy. So it's not just about clearing and releasing and getting rid of them. It's about going, wow, pulling back all of our energy from where they've been stored and used in those subconscious beliefs and patterns to then say, now I'm inviting this energy. Now I'm inviting this frequency. Now I'm inviting this quality. Now I'm inviting this opportunity. And we get to do it together. And that's how we become that divine channel of source, is coming into that wholeness, that we're not trying to push away these parts of ourselves and just have this other piece. We're going, okay, I want to be in my wholeness and be right here together. And that's what being at that divine centered channel allows us to be. As I was saying before, it allows that energy to flow and come in to the self, right? Calming breaths, Rosemary. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And I was going to get into this too, because this is what I do. I call, I say I'm a soul embodiment guide. Is it's really, this is what it does, is it helps us get into our body, Natalie. So thank you for bringing that in. So it is an embodiment process. It's not about going anywhere else. It's not about ascending out of our body. It's not about this. It's about being right here in the body. The soul wants to be alive in the body through us. And as we're remembering who we are, we get to express that, and our soul gets to have its expression in the world as that, as what it truly is, right? And so that's why when I was talking about earlier about being in the body and really tapping into these processes, our body is the temple of our soul. It's the technology that knows how to work with these higher conscious levels of ourself, right? And so by being in that center channel and reminding ourselves that that's what we truly are, then we are already, well, one, we want to say we already are embodied because we're here as a soul in a body, right? It's already happening. And so what we're doing is we're inviting that true essence of the whole to have the expression through what we are as we're unwinding the conditions, right? So this is a part of the process. It's remembering that we already are it. We're already embodied because we're here in a body. We're already whole. We're already divine. So let's just take a breath with that, right? Right? So let's take a breath with that. Just remember, just take a moment, like I'm here in a body. My soul is already here and present in this body right now. And I'm being guided. I'm being guided. It's showing me just through my experiences of life, it's showing me who I am. It's showing me what I get to create. It's showing me already. And I'm showing myself already. Just by being here, wanting to be on this discovery, wanting to be here in this gathering together, right? Your body is here, your soul is here, your mind and your heart and your whole presence is here. So it's not about parceling or piecing out anything, it's being whole in the body in the mind, in the heart. And so this can also kind of calm us down too when we recognize, okay, wait, I don't have any time constraints. I mean, this body, quote unquote, has maybe a time constraint, but my soul, my essence doesn't. My soul, my essence doesn't. Yeah. Yeah, so Alice just saying, I do that with my art. I have to make sure I don't have a lot to do so I can devote time without feeling rushed because I could be there for hours and feels like I barely started. Yeah, sounds like you have a beautiful creative flow. That's wonderful. Yeah, yeah, being in that present space. And Wendy, I'm being shown that to come back to the body. Yeah, if I drop something, I'm distracted, bump into things, etc. I'm not here. So keep coming back over and over again. Yeah. And Prudence, when I do the unity field exercise, it automatically links up heaven and earth through the central channel. Beautiful. Thank you. Yeah. So, so for me, my embodiment practice and recognizing that it's just like it just feels like a fluid flow. Like it's all here. It's all here. There's nothing missing. It's all here. There's nothing missing. And so it's remembering that too. It's all here. There's nothing missing because we came here with, our template, our energetic body, our energetic field that's already has the information. The cells of our body already have the information. Our DNA already has the information. Our subconscious, conscious mind already has the information, right? And what we're doing is we're learning to maybe slow down, unravel all the conditions, and then breathe into the space of now, right? Yeah. Yeah, yes, thanks for that reminder, Natalie. Yeah, sensing a nudge to take actions while my body needed to come and relax in the sun and be connected to truth. Thank you, Natalie. Absolutely. Yeah. So, one of the things that does for us is surrender, right? Like we surrender into the now. We surrender into the body. We remember that this body is a structure that's supporting the soul. So if the body is a structure that's supporting the soul, then it's right here and right now already. So, can we relax into that? Can we support the body? Can we tune into what it needs? Can we tune into how to optimize our health and our connection to it? And we'll get more into that later. But so really, what we're recognizing here through by being in the body and by being in the now is that we're directed. Where our guidance is happening all the time, all the time. And sometimes we listen, sometimes we don't, right? And so that's just a part of the awakening path and the embodiment path is, you know, recognizing when we listen and when we don't, and then still being okay with that though, that compassion, that surrender, that forgiveness, and that, we don't have to be perfect. This isn't awakening is not also about perfection. It's about that loving the self, slowing down, giving ourselves what we need. And then that's life. We're affirming our life. We're affirming our life, not thinking our life happens when we've ascended or our life happens when we achieve our awakening. Our life is happening right now. That's what we awaken to, really, right? And then we get to and then we get to then allow, because our bodies are changing and shifting with all of these higher frequencies coming in, right? It's like DNA is waking up, our cell structures might start to change, the crystalline body, because that's another thing I do is crystalline light body work. But it's like all of those things are starting to come alive, right? That deeper intelligence that exists in our magnetic electromagnetic field and inside the body is coming alive. And so as we are doing that, the more we can be in our body and have these connections with ourselves and take care of ourselves on those levels, then guess what? We're creating a fine-tuned instrument that already is, that gets to then move through this process of these changes with that wholeness, because you're connecting with your consciousness to your body. You're connecting through your soul. You're connecting through your heart. And all of these are powerful technologies. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. So I like what you were saying. Yeah, my ascended self will have a new aortic valve, which is scheduled to be replaced next week. Beautiful. Okay. Much love for that process. In the meantime, my attention is drawn to all manner of heart-related learnings. As an aside, I would add that the aortic valve looks like a little crown, which brings a smile to my face as I envision my crown ascended self. Nice. In the meantime, I rest as I wait. Thank you for your presence and instruction. Thank you, Kay. Yeah, I appreciate you. Yeah, beautiful. It's wonderful. Yeah. Thank you for everyone's comments. So, yeah, should I do a short meditation and then end it? I know we've been talking a bit. Or would you want to shift now?
Sure. So just being aware of time, maybe
Hmm,
a 5 to 7 minute meditation. Would that work?
perfect.
Okay, great. Thank
Yep,
you.
sorry about that. I was noticing and then I was like, "Oop," all these comments and directions. So let's just take a moment, everyone, if you wish to. We'll take 5 minutes and run some energy through the center channel, toroidal field, and just welcome, parts of ourself that are needed to have any support or connection right now, taking any pressures off. So just taking a deep breath. If you're in a safe place too, to close your eyes. If you're in a place to gently close your eyes and invite your breath to slow down and maybe take a deep inhale and a nice sigh out. Just let your attention be right here, right now, with your breath in and out of your body. Breathing and inviting through your breath a clear white light. So imagining breathing in clear white light in and out of your body. And this clear white light, you're inviting it to quiet the mind, quiet the body, quiet any emotions that may be present. And you're inviting that light to flow from above your head, maybe like a foot above your head, a nice white light there. And inviting it to flow down and through the crown of your head, down through the center of your head, the center of your chest, the center of your upper torso, mid torso, lower torso, all the way down through the base of your body, down through the floor, down through the earth, and inviting it, intending it, visualizing it going into the pure crystalline heart of Mother Earth. And letting that channel of light be as wide or as narrow as it wants to be in your center channel. Just giving it permission to allow it to be whatever frequency of width it wants to be. And then inviting your breath up through your body from earth, bringing that white light up through, that clear white light up through the center channel of your body, up through the base of your body, through the lower torso, mid torso, upper torso, up through the neck, through the center of the head, and up through the crown, and up through source. And then we're going to invite it to go up through the center of the pure light in the center of the sun, and up through the central sun, through source, inviting that source light to cascade all around you, down in front of you, behind you, all sides of you, and flowing down to the center of the earth. And then back up through the center of the body, up through the sun, central sun source, letting it flow all the way around your body. And in this moment, letting that flow that's taking place, calm, inviting anything that you wish to calm, if it's your mind or an experience that you're having, just invite it into that light, inviting it into this intelligence of the life source divine channel itself that has the information needed, the healing needed. Maybe inviting any pressures that you have around awakening, just invite that into that flow of light as well. Inviting that light to be the light of alchemy, to transition it, transmute it, into just knowing that you're whole right here, right now, exactly where you need to be, right here, right now. And breathing that through your heart and inviting that clear light to flow through your heart, present with your breath right here, right now. All that you need is right here, right now. Inviting this wholeness to remind you the wholeness of your body, your mind, your heart, and your soul, and your presence of your breath and your beingness. That all is in divine timing, all is in divine flow, exactly where you are, right here, right now. Good. And then feeling your feet, feeling your hands, and inviting this flow to continue at a pace that allows you to still be present and here, and that supports you throughout your day moving forward. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kristen.
Yeah, thank you.
This has been so
Mhm.
beautiful. And welcome back, everybody, as you're coming back from that beautiful practice. And Kristen, I love how you've shared that the sense that these changes that are happening, even the parts that feel uncomfortable or challenging, it's all meant to be. It's all part of where we're going. It's all part of this incredible up-leveling process that we're moving through. And,
Mhm.
and that there are tools to help and so much to help and guide us. And I know you're going to provide so much support for people in this upcoming course that you have.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
thank you for all that you shared here today. It's
yeah,
really
yeah. Appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for being here with us.
yeah. And so, everybody, we have a beautiful invitation for you. If you have loved what you've experienced here with Kristen, and if you would like to go deeper and really have her support on your visionary, evolutionary journeys, and also be held in a sacred community together as we navigate these times. And I will say, the next couple months are going to be so powerful as I'm looking at the astrology. Oh my goodness, it's going to be so amazing. And a lot to navigate, you know. So if you would like to have that kind of support,
Mhm.
you are welcomed into this really powerful 5-week course that Kristen is going to be sharing. I'll put the link to this in the chat in just a moment. And if you're watching this later on YouTube as the replay, the link to this page is right below in the description field below the video. And this will be starting on June 17th, so 2 weeks from today, and it will go through July 15th. So, this is a really amazing time to deepen in your awakening journey. And as it is called, the keys to awakening masterfully, you will be so guided on that journey of your awakening.
Yeah.
And I think so much of this is not only, it's like, yes, it is important for us personally. And also, it's so important that as we navigate this, in the higher frequency energies as we bring calmness and healing into our own lives and our own nervous systems. That also ripples out and helps to heal the whole collective and assists and supports the whole collective in all that we're moving through. And that piece is always so important too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Kristen, could you tell us as we're beginning to dive into what's included in your course here? Could you just tell us why you feel inspired to bring this forward at this time? What is moving in you and what inspiration is coming through around this?
Yeah, thank you. Well, first I want to say I love that you brought that in about the astrology the next couple of months because kind of how I flow usually in my life is I listen to timing and something comes in to share and it's just like it's right along with what's needed for the collective. And I know we planned this and we scheduled this, months ago, but it's perfect. It's perfect coming through this time because these what I, call the keys to awakening masterfully is really that inspiration to support you all that are here to really understanding the divine nature that we are and how to operate in our bodies as a soul and how beautiful it is when we really are that. I mean, it's just such a relief sometimes when we actually recognize the keys of life, the keys of life that are within us already, to really unlock those and really be able to live with them and share them in our own brilliance and genius and beauty. And so it's really an inspiration to be like, you are the master. You have the keys within you. Let's unlock them together and create, as Natalie said earlier, a new human, a new self, a new experience of life.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love how you share this too, that we have all the technology within us already that we need. It's so beautiful.
Yeah.
Yes. So this course is going to be, as we've said, so powerful. It will be a 5-week journey. And you can come here. I've put the link in the Zoom chat if you'd like to come here and explore at your own pace. Some more of the details on the page here. You can learn more about Kristen, read some testimonials, amazing testimonials from her clients and her community. And so here's an overview of what will be covered in the 5 weeks, but we're going to go and tell you in detail what will be covered in the 5 weeks, and we'll go right to that in just a moment here. Now,
Hmm.
let me just share the logistical information because that's so important for everybody to know. This will be held live on Zoom on these 5 weeks. And so the course dates will be what's listed here, starting June 17th and through July 15th. So 5 dates, 5 weeks in a row. And all classes will be fully recorded. So if you cannot attend all of them live, or maybe depending on your time zone, maybe you can't attend live at that time, don't worry, all of them will be recorded. You're able to receive all of the same material by recording. And they'll be held on Tuesdays at 12 noon New York time. Basically, Tuesdays, the same time as this live webinar is happening. So hopefully that will be a convenient time for many people who want to attend. Now let's look at the modules, and this is just so wonderful what you've put together for us, Kristen. So
Yeah.
module 1 is Awakening, Illuminating the Depths and Details of Self-Discovery. Could you tell us a little bit more about what everybody will learn in module 1?
Yes, yes, yes. So as we kind of uncovered all some of the mysteries of awakening and how to work with that, we're going to go even deeper because awakening actually has some very specific natural things that arise for pretty much everybody on the path, right? And so we're going to go in and discover those, and we're going to discover how that actually is the mystical great work of life itself. And what we're here to do, regardless if, I see it as regardless of the awakenings happening, we're always awakening, whether whether we're in this big transition or not, but it's really, really understanding these levels of the awakening journey, like we might call the hero's journey, these different pathways that we all go through and really know how to navigate them, really understand them in more detail and depth. So like, oh yeah, right, that's what I'm going through. So you don't feel so alone, so you don't feel so maybe in doubt of what actually is happening in your life and in your experience through the process. So I'm going to find this first module as an opportunity to really get into how these different aspects of the awakening path support your truth and coming alive in you and being expressed, as well as how the shadow and light play. And actually, both are really powerful tools to learn about the self. One is not better than the other, and really coming into unity with shadow and light. And also through knowing these different levels and layers of the awakening path, how to be in more presence and love with yourself through it. Yeah.
Beautiful. Yeah, I think this aspect of feeling alone is such a big part of the awakening journey. I know for me and for
Yeah.
really all of us, it's like
Yeah.
through this certain time where your friends and family don't understand. You don't know
Yeah.
who the new community or the new friends are, that are going to come in and be on the same path and the same wavelength. And it's a very interesting place to be in, of really needing to deepen in, believe in yourself even more,
Yeah.
that true path. So, yeah, I'm sure there'll be a lot of conversation about that in this
Yes.
module.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, then module two will be about intuition, connect with your inner clarity and divine guidance. Could you just
Yes. Yes, yes. Intuition is, as many of you are probably experiencing, you want to know about or have that clear guidance, right? And that can be a struggle sometimes. Like I can't hear it, I don't feel it, I don't know how to connect, right? Or I don't know if I am connected. All those questions and things come up on the path there. So what we're going to do is really dive into how you actually receive, because not everyone receives the same. So that can be the challenge too, of looking out into the spiritual community, like, oh well, they've got clairaudience, or they're clairvoyant, or they're this or that, going, wait, no, let's tune into you specifically. And so I'll be leading some practices there to support how to really get in touch with your inner clarity, your inner guidance, and how you actually can receive, perceive, and then connect with it in a more clear way. So, we're going to be diving into also how to sometimes, discern, because we have different voices, right? Discern between what is your clear intuitive guidance and maybe, a subconscious program that might be popping up, and really get rooted in the wisdom that is present within you, so you can have that clarity, consistently for yourself.
beautiful? Love it. That is so, so important to really to be able to trust our intuition,
Mm-hmm.
develop
Mm-hmm.
it so we can really trust it and let that guide
Yeah.
us.
Which,
Trust, there it is. Module three, trust. Yes. So learn to surrender and be calm.
yeah. Yeah, and so then we go into trust, right? Because what happens, we doubt our inner voices. We doubt maybe even cues that we're getting from our external world, that are guiding us and supporting us. So trust is a huge piece as well. Self-trust, maybe self in the universe, self in God, self in our guides, self in creator, self in all this energy that's happening. And so we'll explore and really align ourselves and your intuition with the inner trust, and maybe go through and notice places where we've been in distrust. Maybe there were experiences that happened in life. So we're going to just uncover some of those to expand into greater trust of self, and then really understand what surrender really means, and how we get to use surrender as a strength in being able to listen to our intuition and apply what we're actually receiving and hearing in our lives, so that we can have that calm and trust along the way, and freedom.
Amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
The calmness is so important these days. Our nervous
Yeah.
systems are just kind of things are set up to amp up our nervous systems, and so that calmness is really a place of mastery these days.
Mm-hmm.
So, module 4 is vitality. Create a lifestyle that supports body, mind, heart, and soul.
Yes, yes, yes. So along the way of this path of awakening, I feel keeping up with our energetic and physical hygiene is really important. And so, and our heart, all of it. It's really tuning into these places where we can learn, techniques that support us in keeping our field clear, keeping our energy bodies clear, keeping our physical bodies clear, and then ways that we can be in tune with the health of our bodies, establishing, healthy choices that support, our emotions, how we operate, and then also our healthy choices with how we're treating our physical body. Because by having vitality in the body, by really being in, more optimal health on all these different levels, really actually supports us in being able to receive these frequencies, move through them within a conscious way. I mean, sometimes it's not always to receive them, but our bodies actually, by having that connection of clarity in the field and knowing, and tuning in what our bodies need, we actually are able to move through some of these things with more with one, more awareness, but also sometimes a little quicker, right? Because our bodies maybe aren't sluggish, or we have stuff that things are pinging off our energy body. So this is a really great way. We're going to just go through ways to create that vitality for ourselves, so our cells can function optimally for these energies that we're experiencing and for our self-expression, and also just feeling good. I mean, that's a part of the path too. We get to feel good. It's not just about, achieving our awakening, as I said earlier. It's about really just feeling good and having a lifestyle that feels good and wholesome and harmonized for you in life. Yeah.
Yes, beautiful. It is so interesting how, as we feel the solar flares and the earth changes, we really do feel that in the body. It's unmistakable. So
Hmm.
you can see how this is just so, so important to make all these different processes easier, more easeful, I should say.
Yeah.
And then module 5 is embody your soul, unify with the divine within.
Yeah, absolutely. So really, this is about leading your heart and soul led life. And your heart and soul led life really is that embodied expression of your soul, right? And it's not just about, achieving the visions or these things. It's more of like, wow, just like we were talking about the lifestyle. So we're going to take all of these things that we did with discovering, our connection with our awakening, our clarity of our intuition, our vitality, and our trust in our experience, to then really go deeper into presence with self, to go deeper into real love and acceptance of our life. And again, just really being in life, really engaging with life in whatever form it is in the moment. Like, okay, I'm tired. Okay, great. Take a rest. You know what I mean? That's a part of life, right? So it's like, and I'm not saying, it's like, or yeah, I want to go do this thing. I want to go, maybe I just want to go to a movie tonight. So just really fine tuning how it is that we're loving and accepting ourselves, and allowing us to just live and have the courage to live the life that we really want to experience, not the, as we were talking about earlier, the conditions. So it's going deeper into recognizing that we're already embodied, we're already here, and we get to have, a divine life in the play of life around us, and, having that clear pathway through our mind, our bodies, and our hearts to do that. So this is it'll be a lot of fun.
Yes, amazing, amazing. And yes, we get to do this. We wanted to be here. We get
And
yay.
masterfully. Yes.
Yes. Well, so everybody, I think you can see how beautiful this course is going to be. And so the full value of this course is 1111, and you can see all the care and all the expertise and all the training and everything that Kristen is putting into this amazing experience.
Mm.
And so, with that said, the regular price being 1111 US dollars, we are just so delighted to make this available at a donation basis. And this is our commitment to sacred economics, our commitment to the financial sovereignty of all. I could really get on a whole soapbox here because this is such a huge shift we need in our world, right? Around our economics and how money is handled in our world. And so we hope that we are creating a whole new realm, a whole new world of possibilities around financial sovereignty with the quantum school. So we truly want this course to be accessible to as many people as possible. We want you to experience this, to have an incredible, beautiful journey with Kristen and with the community that will come together around this course, and
Mm.
let it lift you up, let it inspire you, let it shift and change your own life in so many positive ways, with no financial complications or no financial limitations. So we invite you to, if you feel called to join, put your hand on your heart, really sense into the donation amount that feels right for you, that is aligned for your heart and your soul and your finances at this moment in time. And then you would just come here and click this button and join us. And we'll get you all of the great details and Zoom link and everything to join the classes.
Mhm.
Now, don't wait too long because registration closes on Tuesday, June 10th at the end of the day at 11:59 p.m. New York time. So definitely join by then, but join as soon as you know in your heart that this is right for you. So with that, we can go to some Q&A, and I'll put this link of this page in the chat one more time to everybody in just a moment. Does anybody have questions for Kristen or any of us? Go ahead and put your questions into the chat. I know we have one over on YouTube already, one question over there. So in the YouTube chat, in the Zoom chat, put your questions in. And I just really want to say thank you as we're waiting for those questions to come in to Kathleen Bauer. Hi, Kathleen. And Anna Reidenbach. Welcome, Anna. And I just want to make a little special introduction of Kathleen and Anna here because they are our multi-galactic course managers in the Quantum School. They do so much incredible magic and dedicated, devoted work behind the scenes to make all of this happen, all of this beauty that you see coming forward in the Quantum School, and to coordinate everything, to make sure the banners and the images are just perfect and sparkling and beautiful. So I just want to say thank you so much, Kathleen, and thank you so much, Anna, for all that you do. You guys are absolutely amazing, and I'm honored to know you and to be on the journey with you both. Okay, wonderful. So let's see what questions we might have from everybody. I'm going to go to YouTube because there was a really good question over there. So here's a question from YouTube. Do you know anything about the 24th chromosome? It is said that it is coming online right now. I don't know if that's your area of expertise, Kristen, but do you have any thoughts or anything you would want to say about that?
Yeah, I've heard about it and I've read about it, and I know it was channeled, I think through Cryon and some other, maybe some other places that have been talking about it. I haven't received in my um, quote unquote, multidimensional training of that occurring in our system. What I am seeing, and I want to share this from Natalie's question earlier too, about are we becoming a new human, or, things waking up from dormant DNA. So I'll take that with this, same question, is that through a lot of the recent DNA studies, they're actually finding that there are very few sequences that actually happen in the DNA, and that what's actually instructing the DNA is consciousness, right? Is the field. And so, really, what we're experiencing right now is that embodiment of source consciousness, and that it's not just about the DNA. Yes, it's good to have, an awareness of our DNA so that we can really choose. That's why the vitality is really important, and really living a clear path for ourselves so that our DNA can optimize the sequences that's forming the body, but it's really being instructed by this other intelligence, and we are that other intelligence. So however we are going to be thinking, feeling, moving through life, experiencing life is what's instructing. Plus these, solar energies, these earth plasmic energies are instructing it as well, and it's really saying, okay, let's grow, let's learn, let's evolve, let's become a new being. Yes, on many levels. And I think the most important level right now is just learning how to be in our self-awareness and really tuning into our bodies and choosing, really being in conscious choice. I think that, and I'll just say one more piece, but I think that really the empowerment piece here with our awakening is recognizing that it's not about just things turning on in our system or things that are happening in the outer field, that it's us, that it's you right here, sitting here, being here in this energy and making certain choices that's directing how your DNA is going to be and how things are happening in your body and your space and your experience. Yeah.
Yeah, so beautiful. I think it's so interesting that I think they've actually thrown out that term now of junk DNA because I
Yeah.
think scientists realized how silly that was, but that they came out with that announcement that it was either like 95 or 93% of our DNA was junk DNA. But it's just that we don't understand what that part does. Like 95% of our DNA, scientists do not understand what its function
Yeah.
is. That
Yeah.
means it's that's so connected with, why when we go to Egypt or when we study these ancient cultures and we don't understand how they built those pyramids, right? Like
Yeah.
tapping into that higher level of consciousness that we're remembering now, but it's so much vaster than what we've been
Yeah.
experiencing here for a long time.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Hmm.
Yes, there's a logistical question here. How long will each class be? And I think it will be 90 minutes. Is that accurate, Krista?
Yeah. Hmm. Yep.
Okay, wonderful. And
Sometimes it may go over depending, but yeah, I'm going to try to keep it at 90 minutes. Yeah.
there will be a Q&A section in every class. So, if you have questions, you will have a chance to
Mhm.
ask your questions. Evie is asking about translating in French. I would love to do that, and I will make that a goal for the quantum school to have multiple languages, but currently this course will be in English only for now.
Yeah. Is it possible? I don't know if chat Zoom does that because I know they set languages for subtitles. Can you do that in Zoom yet, or is that not the technology that's there yet?
We can look into that. I'm not sure. I'm not sure the
Yeah.
answer to that. Yeah.
Okay.
They do, you can do a transcription of everything. So they are recording, logging the
Mhm.
text version of
Yeah.
data. So maybe we'll
Yeah.
look into that. Great idea.
Yeah. Just curious.
Let's see. Yes, exactly, Nathalie. How would nature create junk anyway? That was just us ridiculous
Yeah.
said that. um, let's see. Evie is saying, is cancer an impediment to awakening? Wow, that's a profound
That's,
question.
yeah. Hmm. That's an interesting question. Yeah. I find that sometimes it helps people on their awakening path because a lot of times, if we look at it from the perspective of there's been dense energies in our energy body, there's been energies in our energy body that have then physical, become physical in the form of cancer, then sometimes the cancer, what I've seen with people is that the cancer healing process can be really profound and recognize like, wow, I've been living this way. I've been thinking these things, or I've been feeling these things, or this happened in my childhood. And I've still been holding on to it through this. And that's the thing that really brought it into form into my body. But I see that if you wanted to look at it as an impediment or like look at that word, I feel that what's happening on the planet today with so many things bombarding our system in unhealthy ways, that it is an opportunity, that knowing that it's an opportunity to refine how and what we're putting in our bodies and how we're relating to ourselves and creating a different frequency of the mind body experience because it only can live in a system that maybe is acidic or is having those denser challenges. And so it's really just an opportunity to recognize, just like what we'll do in module 4 is that vitality piece of really welcoming vitality into our life on these levels. Yeah, so I don't see it. I can see it as actually a powerful catalyst to awakening if looked at that way. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel that with health, any kind of really intense health journey,
Yeah.
it's a rebirth process
Hmm.
and definitely a like a key step on our awakening journey.
Hmm. Yeah.
So Wendy is asking, is that $11.11 or 1,111? Now, so Wendy, the donation is the amount that's right for you. Okay, so we're not telling anybody what you have to donate, but we just want you to know the full value of Kristen's course, what it's really worth. So what Kristen's course is really worth is 1,111 US dollars. So if you have finances available to send the full value, wonderful. And if you don't, then you can send the amount that's right for you. So hopefully that all makes sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, the full value of this course is 1,111. And that's again, considering all the years of experience and training and all the love and care that Kristen is putting into it and delivering it. 1,111 is the full amount, but you can donate what is right for you.
Yeah.
And Tracy is saying hello from Australia. Hi, Tracy. I wish to join, so could you please tell us what time in Down Under, maybe 2 or 3 a.m.? Yes, so this would be at 2 a.m. Melbourne time. Um, and Kathleen, correct me if I'm wrong about this. Kathleen's in New Zealand, so she tracks these more closely than I do, but I believe that it would be 2 a.m. Melbourne time, 4 a.m. Auckland time for those in New Zealand. So hopefully that's helpful. It's 12 noon New York time.
Hmm.
That's okay. Kathleen's giving me the thumbs up. Thanks, Kathleen. I got to make sure I get my time zone conversions right. So, again, if you can't attend at that time, everybody, and you really want to take the course, we are doing a full recording of every session. We will send all the recordings out within 48 hours after each class. So, don't worry if you ever can't attend. If you're able to join us at 2 a.m. your time, amazing. And if not, we totally understand. And that's why we do the recordings. Let's see here. Okay, Wendy says that makes sense about the pricing. Yes, yes, very good. Um, and Tracy says another note here, as a retired clinical herbalist, naturopath, medical astrologer, cancer may be a huge healing call and transformative. Yeah, thank you, Tracy.
Hmm.
Okay. Stacy says, what if you can afford $0 at this time? Well, I guess, Stacy, my question would be, can you afford $1? Or can you afford $10? Also keeping in mind, everybody, we hope that you will think about the time and love and care that Kristen is putting into this, and that's why we post what the full value actually is. Um, so please donate what feels right for you, considering all the value of this course. But if you truly can only give $1, it's okay. And if you're able to give more and you can give the amount that feels really aligned for you for what you're receiving, then give the amount that's right for you. But there's no minimum limit, but we can't accept $0 donations because honestly that's not a donation. But we can accept higher than that. And Nathalie says, amazing work. Thank you for sharing. This is awesome that you're able to make this great course and teaching available for donation. Yeah, thank you, Nathalie.
Hmm.
So glad that it speaks to you.
Thank you.
Okay. Well, I think we've answered all the questions. Let me check YouTube one more time. Some thank yous over there on YouTube. Wonderful. So everybody watching later as a replay, put in the YouTube comments, how do you feel? What do you think about what Kristen shared today? What do you think about these times we're moving through? Are you joining the course? We would love to know your thoughts on all of it. So definitely put that in the comments and we will get back to you. Um, and if you have any questions about the course or about anything that Kristen shared here, definitely go ahead and put that in the YouTube comments if you're watching later on, and we will answer all the questions there as we go. Wendy says, Kristen, you look like you're glowing. Thank you for today.
Thank you, Wendy. Appreciate you. Yeah, appreciate everyone that was here with us today. It was really wonderful to share this space and energy with you. Yes.
Yeah, thank you so much, Kristen, for all you have shared today.
Yeah.
And we all hope that you will get a really good night of sleep tonight. We all know how that feels to not have sleep the night before.
Yeah,
Something
thank
like
you.
so, yeah, thank you for all your sharing. Thank you for bringing this amazing course to the Quantum School. We are just so delighted to bring it out into the world in this way.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
much love, everybody. I hope you've really enjoyed this presentation today. And like I said, any questions, let us know either by email or in the YouTube comments. And much love to all of you and blessings as we are to all of you as we're navigating these changes and the solar flares and everything. Yes, so much love. All right. Bye for now, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Thank you again, Kristen. Have a wonderful rest of your day.
Thank you, Jocelyn. Be well, and Anna and Kathleen. Have a wonderful day. Thank you.